What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Godly Potential YouTube channel. Back at you with another video. This video is to remind you or to prompt you to just go harder. Whatever it is that you're striving towards, just go fucking harder. Because chances are you're letting up on the gas, right? If you've ever done any sports, right? Football, basketball, wrestling, whatever have you, track, you're sprinting, you're doing sprint drills, you're doing up and downs, you're running stairs, you're bear crawling, whatever it is. The coach always tells you to finish strong, right? But we tend to, when we get towards that finish line, we tend to slow down, right? But then we don't see a difference in that at the moment. But in training or in the game, in the actual match, and when it's time to perform and you come up short, you might have to question yourself, hey, what if this is because I slacked off on that last 5 steps? What if it's because I slacked off on that last lap? What if that's because I slacked off on that last rep? You gotta ask yourself that. Because look, majority of you watching are probably in the age group as I am. I like to look at life in seasons. 0 to 20, that's spring. You're sprouting, you're coming up, you're springing through the soil as a plant does, or you're springing through the birth canal, right? 20 to 40, I believe we're all in this range, majority. This is the summer. This is the time to go hard. It's time to put in the fucking work. This is the time to chase your fucking dreams. This is the time to take maximum risk. Because you have less responsibilities, you have more vitality, you have more energy, you got more vigor, you have more courage. If you don't have these things, you need to get these things. And one thing you can do to get this is fucking semen retention. Stop beating your dick. But you got to go hard in the summer. Why? Because what you slay today shall be your feast tomorrow. Let me say that again. What you slay today shall be your feast for tomorrow. It's the same as you reap what you sow. Or if you don't sow, you don't fucking reap. Or if you don't slay anything today, when the other seasons roll around, when fall comes and winter comes, you won't have shit to eat. Or in other words, once you get older, you start taking on more responsibilities, you got more bills, you got a mortgage, you got kids, you got a wife, you got a husband, whatever fucking gender you are, and you didn't slay anything, you don't have any fruit to bear, you're gonna fucking starve. All you can do from that point is to try to join a community who did apply pressure, who did slay their beast, slay their demons, or just slay something, and they can give you a morsel of their winnings, right? They can give you some of what they slayed. Or in other words, you can rely on the government, right? The reason I say this, the reason why I'm talking about this, is because I don't know if you noticed this, but likely if you work any job, if you go to any establishment, if you are just out and about, you will notice that a lot of older people in their 60s, 70s, still working. Some of them are doing it because, hey, they're retired, they don't have anything else to do, and they enjoy working. They enjoy their occupation. But a lot of them are doing it because they have to. In other words, they didn't slay anything when they had the most energy. So now they have nothing to feast on. From 20 to 40, vitality at its highest. Men, Our testosterone is at its highest. Our courage is at its highest. Our capacity to endure is at its highest. Our intellect may not be at its highest. Our wisdom may not be at its highest. But sometimes you need not to have all this information and wisdom. Sometimes you just need fucking drive and determination. Sometimes you need to be illogical. Sometimes you need to be illusional to have these big grandiose goals. Instead of saying, well, I just want to get a good career and do that. If that's your thing, then do that. Make sure that's your thing. Make sure that's not the voice of others telling you. Make sure that's not your family. Make sure that's not your friends. Make sure it's not your community. Make sure that's not your religion. Make sure it's not your society and your government. Make sure that's actually you who wants that. Because if it isn't, well, how could you possibly be living your passion? Or not even living your passion, fulfilling your passion, fulfilling your mission here. How could you possibly be doing that if you're going based off of what they say should and should not be, or what's a correct approach? Here's another thing. It would be wise not to take directions of a path that someone has never walked down. Or better yet, let me rephrase that. It would be wise not to seek directions from someone who has never walked down a path that only you will walk down. This is only your path. A lot of people say, well, I want to make content, but this market is so saturated. No, it isn't, no matter what it is, because no one has your unique experience. No one has your way of expressing this said experience. No one has grew up in your town with your parents at the age you did, at the time you were born, had those experiences, with those relationships, with those connections, those things you've heard, those things you read, those things you've seen. Nobody has had that exact same experience. Even if you have biological identical twins, the experience is still different. The way you interpret the world is still different. So, follow your intuition. Tap into that. Because what you slay today shall be your feast tomorrow. Slay something.